Number one talk station broadcasting live from Etimi and Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos, Nigeria. I am Sheriff Quadry. Thank you, Lagos. Thank you, Nigeria, for staying tuned to your number one talk station. From 5 a.m. that we started this conversation on the morning crossfire. We have a lot more for you. But before we get into the conversation at all, please, COVID-19 is very real. Very, very, very real. We lost 20 healthcare workers in 1 week, 20 of them. So it is very, very real. Imagine the few ones that we have. We're still losing out of the few ones. Nobody even want to lose at all, whether few or more. So we need to be careful. We need to protect ourselves in order to protect our health workers. Let's protect the little ones, the few ones that we have right now. Use your face mask all the time. There is no excuse for you not to use your face mask unless otherwise advised by health professionals. All right? Please. Thank you. Welcome to the show. Let's get on with our conversation today. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, they put out a document that came out of a survey that they conducted by an arm of the ICPC known as the Anti-Corruption Academy of Nigeria. It's an arm of the ICPC, and they did a survey as to how rife is corruption in Nigeria. How devastating is corruption in Nigeria? That is our conversation. You know, we can't talk enough about corruption, right? Right? Exactly. So let's talk about that report that brought light into so many things, so many areas, from the judiciary to the legislative to the executive to MDAs. I mean, it's just so revealing. We'll tell you more about that report in a moment, but let's quickly bring in the head of, not the head specifically, but he's a senior researcher, senior research fellow at the Anti-Corruption Academy of Nigeria. I'm talking about Dr. Elijah Okebukola. He joins us right now over the telephone. Dr. Elijah Okebukola, lovely morning to you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Mr. Quadry. Thanks for inviting me to the morning crossfire.
Let me first apologize that I know that you are currently on vacation, but you're obliged us all the same, so that we can have this conversation with you. But thank you so much for granting us the request to have you on the show today, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start with this report by your institution, the Anti-Corruption Academy of Nigeria, an arm of the ICPC. What led to this report to start with? Why did the academy embark on this report?
Well, the whole idea is to effectively combat corruption. You need well-planned, well-timed, and precisely executed anti-corruption intervention. And you also need to be able to evaluate your anti-corruption intervention to know how successful they are,
right?
Know where you need to improve, and so on. So what this survey did was to generate knowledge,
okay,
and empirical data that will inform anti-corruption intervention. And it focused specifically on grant corruption. That's corruption that involves high level of government, vast amounts of assets, money, etc.
Right.
Against street level or retail level corruption. But that's not to say that street level or retail level corruption is not important.
Okay.
It's important. But presently there is a survey that generates data and knowledge on that aspect of corruption.
Okay.
So that's why the Anti-Corruption Academy of Nigeria focused on grant corruption.
When you say grand corruption, what does it mean exactly? Does it mean institutionalized corruption, or exactly? Because we're trying to break it down so our listener can understand what every word that you say, so they can actually understand them. When you say grand corruption, what does it mean?
Well, when you say grant corruption, you're looking at high-level corruption that occurs at policy level of government, at corruption that involves lots of money, vast amounts of assets,
Okay.
billions, hundreds of millions, tens of millions, as against the 2,000 naira, 3,000 naira, 1,000 naira kinds of corruption.
Oh, fantastic.
But the point that we should emphasize is that the retail level or so-called petty corruption
Yeah,
could be as devastating as so-called grant corruption.
very true.
So
Very
the
true.
fact that this survey focused on grant corruption does not mean that the commission does not take petty corruption as a serious form of corruption as well.
Very true. Very true. Now let's pick apart the sectors that you worked on: the justice sector, the legislative, the executive. Let's start with the justice sector, which is to me a very devastating one, if I may borrow that word from your discovery. Please tell us exactly what you found out as to the level of corruption in the justice sector.
Okay, thanks for that question, Mr. Quadry, because I've read some news reports that seem to misunderstand the report of the survey. The focus was on the justice sector as a broad area
Okay.
and not the judiciary.
Okay.
So the judiciary is part of the justice sector.
Right.
So our respondents to the justice sector included lawyers, judges, magistrates, court staff. So our findings covered the whole sector and not just judges.
Okay. Okay.
And our findings also covered litigants as well in the justice sector,
Even litigants themselves.
even litigants themselves.
Okay.
Something interesting, we asked the respondents if they believe that the independence of the judiciary is necessary in the fight against corruption.
Mm-hmm.
And virtually all respondents said, yes, we need the independence of the judiciary to effectively combat corruption.
Right. Right.
Then we asked them, what practices erode the independence of the judiciary? And majority said non-compliance with court orders.
Uh-huh.
A major practice that erodes the independence of the judiciary and reduces its effectiveness in combating corruption.
So everybody agreed. I mean, most of them agreed that non-compliance to court orders actually takes away the independence of the judiciary.
Exactly.
Right.
Now we asked further, who are those that, in their experience, refuse to obey court orders? And the vast majority of the respondents told us that in their experience, private citizens, including private commercial companies, are at the fore of refusing to obey court orders.
Ah.
Yes, followed by law enforcement agents,
Okay.
followed by ministries, departments, and agencies of government.
Now that's new because Dr. Kebukola, the general belief is that it's the government that's usually more susceptible to refusing to obey court order. I'm surprised that you're saying that even the people are saying it is they themselves, commercial companies, that refuse to obey court orders the most.
Okay, so the interesting thing about this survey is that we went out to survey experiences and not perception.
Aha.
So, to you, for example, you will have perceived that law enforcement agencies and ministry departments and agencies will be at the fore
Yes.
of refusing to obey court orders.
Yes.
But the justice sector practitioners, lawyers, judges, court officials, said in their experience, private citizens are at the fore of refusing to obey court orders. And that speaks to larger issues.
Very
and that's
well.
one of the reasons that we need to conduct these kinds of scientific exercises. Because some of the assumptions we held will be found to be unfounded.
Exactly.
And some will be confirmed.
Exactly.
Now, relating to bribe for judgment in the justice sector,
Right.
we also asked them who were those that were most responsible for bribe for judgment situations.
People that pay to get judgment in the justice sector.
Yes, people that pay,
and receive.
People that go out to initiate it, those that are most responsible, those that go out to seek it. the most. And in the experience of our respondents, lawyers were at the fore of bribe for judgment situations.
Lawyers are more guilty of paying for bribe to get judgment.
Are more responsible. For going out to seek bribe for judgment. Followed by litigants personally, followed by court staff, clerks, registrars, etc. So that also made an assumption to be untrue, because the initial assumption was that judges will be at the fore.
Yeah.
But it turned out that lawyers are actually at the fore, followed by litigants, followed by court staff, followed by judges.
So just to be clear, Dr. Kebukola, just to be clear, like you said, I mean, these assumptions are out there already. And your survey, this report, is putting some things into right perspective. Just to be clear, in this order, lawyers are more responsible in initiating bribe for judgment process.
That's correct.
Followed by
the
litigant themselves, and then court officials, and then the judges. Did they tell you why this is so? Did you ask why they initiate this bribery process in the quest to get judgment in court? Did you ask that question?
That's an excellent question, Mr. Quadry. And the question also speaks to the limitations of this kind of survey. Now, one, you're looking at experience, and you're looking at experience of something that is ordinarily hidden. Corruption is a secret. Corrupt practices are done in secret.
Right.
And we have to frame our questions in such a manner that the respondents will be willing to share their experiences.
Oh, okay.
And one of the first things we found was that people were not willing to discuss. Many respondents many individuals we approached refused to complete the survey.
Okay.
To participate in the survey.
Okay.
Now, as to why, we did some follow-up interviews after we got the data. And we found that most of these situations were cases that involved high political office, electoral cases, and such.
These issues you said, they are mostly related to political matters.
Mostly.
So we can say that, they are mostly politicians. Or their allies.
Or their allies, or their lawyers.
Or their lawyers.
Exactly. If you start from the first point, that lawyers were most responsible.
Yes.
And then we also go to the last point, that the cases that had the highest amounts of money involved were political or politically related cases. Then you would say that lawyers to politicians and politicians.
Indeed. I'm going to ask you this question before we open up the phone line so we can get some thoughts in before our first break. And the question is this, Dr. Kebukola. As regards this money we're talking about, how much is it really that exchange hands in 3 years as put out by your report? How much are we looking at?
So back again to the point that corruption is done in secret. And if you're conducting this kind of survey, you have to ask your questions in such a manner that you get as many responses as possible.
Right.
So we asked judges about 124 judges.
125 judges and magistrates.
124 judges.
24, okay.
And magistrates.
Okay.
If they had been offered. Now, apparently, the question had been, have you received bribe for judgment?
Of course, they would say no.
That nobody would be willing to share their experience with us.
Yes, of course.
But when we asked if they had been offered, out of the 124, judges and magistrates that we interviewed, 11 indicated that they had been offered bribes in the past 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the total offer to all 11 was 3.6 billion.
3.6 billion.
3.6 billion. Then we asked lawyers if they had been asked to pay bribes for judgment.
Okay.
Now, if we ask them, have you paid? They probably will say, well, they probably will not answer us.
Mm-hmm.
We asked them if they had been asked to pay, and we also asked them if they had knowledge of their colleagues that had paid.
Okay.
Someone in their office, someone they did the matter with, etc.
Mm.
So we interviewed 636 lawyers, out of which 63 indicated that they had been asked to pay, or they knew a colleague that had paid.
63,
and
you
then
said?
the total 63 years. That's about 9.9%
Okay.
of all lawyers we asked.
Right.
And the total they indicated that they had been requested to pay, or that they knew someone that had paid, was about 5.7 billion.
5.7 billion.
5.7 billion.
My word.
In the past 3 years. Then we asked court staff if they had been offered. We didn't ask them if they had received. And out of the 25 court officials that we spoke with, 4 indicated that they had been offered. And these 4 told us that they were offered about 24 million in the past 3 years.
My word.
Yeah, what we should also keep in mind,
right,
is that we're looking at experience and not perception.
Yeah, you were asking them directly, not asking them whether they feel there is corruption or whether they feel.
Their opinion.
Yeah,
Their
life
opinion,
experience.
It's going to probably be more or less depending on the
Right.
biases that affect
Right.
our opinion.
Right. Dr. Kebukola, we need to quickly prepare for a break right now, but I need you to have this at the back of your mind when we return. I'm going to ask you about your findings concerning female and male lawyers in this conversation that we're having. I know that your report put that straight in what you found out, but let's quickly take a pause right now and go on a short break, a quick break, and when we return, we'll treat that on what your report found out, and get thoughts from Nigerians who are watching right now from anywhere. I'm getting comments here, by the way, but we'll get to that in a moment. If you are just joining us, you're welcome. It's a Morning Crossfire, and we're looking at corruption in Nigeria. It's a report done by Anti-Corruption Academy of Nigeria, an arm of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC. Once we're back from this break, we'll continue to speak with Dr. Elijah Okebukola, Senior Research Fellow at the Anti-Corruption Academy of Nigeria. Stay here on the Morning Crossfire, 99.3 Nigeria Info. Yes, of course. Please drop your comments. We'll come to your comments in a moment on our live stream on Facebook and YouTube. I'll be back.
Wake up to the best of breakfast radio.
We cannot have farmers being slaughtered.
9.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
YouTube. You can watch live on those two platforms. Nigeria Info 99.3 is what you need to search for, and you'll be able to watch us on Facebook page Nigeria Info 99.3, on YouTube channel Nigeria Info 99.3. Drop your comment with me on WhatsApp. The WhatsApp number is 0809 597 5805. That is 0809 597 5805. We're going to take some reaction before I bring back my guest, Dr. Elijah Okebukola, who is joining us via the telephone. Dr. Okebukola, again, thank you for joining us on the show.
Thanks again, Mr. Quadry.
Now, let's take some thoughts. Let's take some reaction from Lagos that is listening to us right now. 0700 993 993 993. That is 0700 993 993 993. Please go straight to the point when you call so we can manage the time very well. Hello, good morning to you. Yes, good morning to you. No, not you again, please. No, what you're going to do is, wait, hold on. What you're going to do is, what you're going to do is, you will give us St. Nicholas account number, then we'll pay into it. Is that okay?
Yeah, doctor is here. Can you speak with the doctor?
Tell the doctor to tell you the account number of St. Nicholas, then we'll send it to account number of St. Nicholas in your name. Then treatment will commence. We're not sending money to anybody. Is that okay? Yes, please do that and call back. Thank you. Nigeria Info, good morning to you.
Very good morning to you, Sheriff Quadry.
Good morning to you.
Yeah. I want to ask the question. Is it 5.7 billion? Is it a lawyer that is a fronting for the judges? I want to ask, please.
Okay. For the money, right? Dr. Kebukola, a caller wants to know if the lawyers front for judges or they gave the money straight to the judges. I mean, I don't know if your question is around that area. I'm not sure.
That is what I'm asking, Sheriff.
Okay. All right. So let's let Dr. Kebukola answer your question. Go on, Dr. Kebukola.
All right, thanks for that question. Now, our survey does not answer all the questions relating to corruption in the sector we researched. Apparently, we're asking questions using the questionnaire.
Okay.
It's as short as possible. So there are follow-up questions that you may not be able to ask.
Okay.
But specifically relating to whether these lawyers that said that they were requested to pay, or they know people that paid 5.7 billion, they were not fronting for judges.
Okay.
They were speaking from their own experience.
From their own personal experience, yeah.
From their personal experience, where a court staff or someone had asked them to pay a bribe, or where they knew someone, a colleague in the office or someone that they had done some work with that had paid a bribe to influence the court decision.
Right.
We're not fronting for judges.
Okay. All right. Let's see if we can squeeze in another call. Good morning to you.
Yeah, morning once again, Sheriff.
Yes,
good morning, Dr. Okebukola.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, thank you so very much. My name is Chukwebuka. My question is this. In all this, having established these facts against the judges or the lawyers or whoever is involved, where will this end? Will there be prosecutions? Will there be arrests? Where will it end, sir? That's my question. Thank you very much.
What are you going to do with the outcome of your survey? That's basically the question, Dr. Kebukola.
Thanks very much for that very important question. Now, we also have to clarify that these kinds of exercises have some limitations.
Okay.
You may be able to get knowledge, you may be able to get data, but you may not be able to get the kind of evidence.
Yeah.
And used for prosecution.
Right.
For example, every survey of this kind that gives you this kinds of information and data do not give you the kind of information and data that you can use to prosecute anybody.
Okay.
So you cannot go to court and say, we asked 636 lawyers their experience with bribery in the justice sector. And 63 of them told us that this is their experience. The others did not tell us anything. That's not the kind of
evidence you want to approach court with.
You can't even, there's no basis for it.
Right.
However, it serves as a basis, a premise for doing other interventions.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, it lets you know exactly what is going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can then plan your other interventions.
Let's know what we're dealing with.
Let's know what we are dealing with.
Right.
And then let's know how to deal with it.
Right. Right.
And that brings us to the point that in anti-corruption, prosecution is not necessarily the most effective tool for anti-corruption. Prevention is actually the most important tool for anti-corruption. As I say, prevention is better than cure.
Mm-hmm.
So when we know who is doing what and how they are doing it, then policymakers, policy implementers, anti-corruption agencies, law enforcement agencies, civil society organizations, the media, then will know what preventive steps to take.
Right, right.
But that's not to say that prosecution is not important. Prosecution is very important, particularly in deterring corrupt practices.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This kind of data can also guide prosecutors in focusing their prosecutorial interventions and in exercising their prosecutorial discretion as well.
Right.
So if from this kind of survey you have information that some particular groups or categories of persons are more likely to engage in certain kinds of corrupt practices,
yeah,
then you may want to focus your prosecutorial interventions on that group.
Right.
So I think to Mr. Chikwe, this survey will guide everyone, including anti-corruption agencies, in planning and focusing their anti-corruption interventions.
Right.
It certainly cannot lead to the prosecution of anybody. The surveys, whether done by the Anti-Corruption Academy of Nigeria or by any other reputable organization, is not aimed to get evidence to prosecute.
Right.
In fact, if you aim to do that, that would be unethical. Because when you're asking respondents to share their experiences with you, you are not investigating them.
Okay.
And it's on that basis that they will even agree to share their experiences with you. If you're asking them to share their experiences with a view to prosecuting them, nobody will share their experience with you.
Very true. Very true.
And they are supposed to be anonymous too. For example, we ensured that we protected the respondent's anonymity. They sent out Google forms. And when you submit your Google form, we don't know who submitted it.
Right, right.
We also interviewed through telephone. What we did was to get the telephone numbers from publicly available databases.
Okay.
Get the telephone numbers to researchers that interviewed the respondent. So the researcher does not know the person he's interviewing. And then when the information comes in, whoever is analyzing the information does not know who made what report. So with that barrier of anonymity, you cannot even go ahead to prosecute anyone.
Very
even
true.
If you should try to, but you shouldn't. You don't prosecute people that are sharing.
I mean, it goes everything ethical about what you're doing. If it is survey, it is survey. That's right. That's right. Let's just squeeze in another call before I ask my question. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Sheriff.
Yes, good morning to you.
Yeah, this is Pastor Ladipo calling from Religo.
Welcome.
I think what this survey will do for us is going to create awareness on how justice is being administered in Nigeria. Now, if you look at these figures that is coming out now, you wonder that, like your question, the majority part of this thing is coming from some high-profile cases. That is where these things are coming from. That is why in Nigeria today, somebody can just wake up and tell you, I'm going to do this to you, go to the court and nothing will happen. Because they know they can pay their way through. So the court that's supposed to be the hope, the last hope of the common man, has become something else. And the only way out is when reports like this are being publicized.
Right.
so that people will have that sense of urgency. They too will be conscious to take that bribe or to offer a bribe. Thank you, and God bless Nigeria.
Thank you, Pastor Ladi, for calling. Appreciate it. Dr. Kebukola, let me come to you now as to what your research found out as to who initiate bribery process more between male and female lawyers. Can you let us into that?
Okay, Mr. Quadry, just to clarify again, this amount of money we're talking about here for lawyers,
right?
Amounts that were demanded from them or that they knew someone paid.
Okay.
Relating to the 636 lawyers we interviewed, 63 indicated that they had experienced demand or they knew someone that had paid. Out of these 63, the total was 5.7 billion.
Right.
And out of this 5.7 billion, female lawyers indicated that 19 female lawyers precisely, out of the 63. Out of the 63 lawyers, 19 were female.
Okay.
And these 19 indicated that they had been asked to pay, or they knew someone that had paid a total of about 918 million.
918 million naira.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, for the male lawyers, out of the 63 lawyers, 44 were male. And these male lawyers indicated that they had been asked to pay, or they knew a colleague that had paid a total of 4.8 billion actually.
What?
So in total, it's 5.7 billion.
My word. This is huge. This is scary. Well, because of time, Dr. Kebukola, we need to quickly move on now to the MDAs. You found a lot of things about the MDAs, how they do their things. Can you tell us, just let us into that very briefly, Dr. Kebukola?
Okay, now, for the executive arm of government,
right,
we focus mostly on ministry departments and agencies. And like all the other sectors, we looked at monetary and non-monetary forms of corruption. And one of the things we found was that they received gifts from contractors in appreciation of official work done. That is contrary to the law.
The job that they are paid to do,
yeah,
they now get gifts again from contractors for doing that job.
Quote and unquote, in appreciation.
In appreciation. Okay, continue.
Now, and that goes back to the excellent comments made by Pastor Ladipo about awareness.
Mm-hmm.
It turned out that many of them believe that once the job is done and people come back to appreciate what they had done, it was not contrary to law. It wasn't a corrupt practice.
Mm.
But in law, you are not allowed to collect gifts.
Is this what you found? Is this what you found out, Dr. Kebukola, that they don't know? They are not actually aware that it's wrong to collect gifts from contractors.
Yes, we found that many of them believe that it was lawful.
Okay.
To accept gifts after the job is done.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is, I didn't ask for it. I was sitting down in my office. The job was already done, and they came back to give me. I didn't ask for it. That was the underlying philosophy.
Okay.
If I didn't ask for it, then it is not a crime. But that's not what the law says.
Okay.
So they received gifts from contractors in appreciation of work done. And then they also inspected projects facilitated by the contractors.
Okay.
So contractors will pay them to come and inspect projects awarded to the contractors.
Well, are they supposed to be paid?
No, they are not supposed to.
Whoa.
And then we also found that some contracts were awarded on the basis of political connections of the contract awardees, of the contractors. And that goes against all the rules of procurement.
Is there a figure on all of this?
Okay, for gifts received from contractors in acquisition of work done, 12% of MBA respondents said, yes, I have received gifts in appreciation of work done officially. And you may say that 12% is such a low amount. But one of our major findings across all sectors is that just a few incidents of grant corruption can devastate a whole sector.
Very well. Very well.
Just that you have 12% does not mean that it's not as...
It's small, it's insignificant.
Exactly, it's insignificant. Contracts awarded with the aid of political connections. The NBA officials indicated that 21% of them had experienced situations where contracts were awarded not in compliance with the extant laws and regulations, but based on the political connection of the contractor.
All this in 3 years, Dr. Kebukola?
All this in 3 years.
In 3 years, okay.
All this in 3 years.
Okay.
So that's the experience they shared with us.
Indeed. We'll go to the legislature right now. But before then, we have calls that are coming in. So we just quickly take some calls and some messages before we do that. 8:47 is the time. Let me take this comment on Facebook, where we're streaming live. Budget Emmy on Facebook says, in Nigeria, court justice is not often served, but judgment. And the winner is most times not the non-guilty, but it's all about winning the case irrespective of what it takes. That's why a poor man can never win a case over a rich man. Politicians rig elections, having it in mind of going to court and paying for judgment. Our judiciary has failed. That's Budget Emmy on Facebook. Let's see which one we can also take on Facebook. Felix Osang says corruption nowadays is more popular than pure water. That's Felix Osang on Facebook this morning. Now let's go to take a few calls before we come to WhatsApp. Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Sheriff. Thanks for taking my call.
Good morning to you.
Jonathan is my name.
Welcome.
There is a council on the panel of Lagos State governments right now. We have a course. And I've been saying we have a case since 2013. If I tell you what we went through in today, Sheriff, we confirm what your guest is saying. When we appealed that case, we took our file to the appeal court. You know that our file missed. It missed. And my chairman created a scene there.
The file went missing.
He missed. I'm telling you, Sheriff. I'm part of the body. We sued, and the file. We went to high court. They threw our file out. We took our file. We appealed. We brought the file to appeal court. Our file missed. And we told my chairman just said, where's the table? I dropped the file here. Okay, where is our file? If you don't want me to call journalists here right now and tell what has happened, bring the file. They searched everywhere. They had to go and photocopy all the hearings and form another file. That's what we used to conclude the appeal that we are in Supreme Court right now. Even in Supreme Court, Sheriff, I told what we have done. Ordinary us, the frustration for violation of our rights. But tell you what we have gone through is confirming what your guest is saying there. Judiciary, the government, they don't value us right here at all. And it's very painful. And we are ready. So we are still ready to go all the length.
Jonathan, thank you so much for calling me. I appreciate it. Nigeria Info, good morning to you.
Hello.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes, please.
Please, my son, help me. I have collected it.
Okay, now.
Yes. 000.
No, the account number of the hospital.
Yes.
Okay.
00512056 8. Can I call again, sir?
Yes, call it again.
00.
Okay.
51 205068 Union Bank.
68. Is that what ends it?
Union Bank, yes.
What's the account name?
Union Bank.
What is the account name?
Account name is Root Thunder.
Eh?
Root Thunder.
Roots.
Root Thunder.
That's the thing. You are giving out your own account number.
Yes,
Are you trying to scam people? I said give out the account number of the hospital. So what you have just done now is to show that you're trying to scam people.
I'm not scamming.
That is what you have just done now.
No, sir, call the doctor.
No. You're trying to scam people. No, I'm not speaking with the doctor. I said give the account number of the hospital, and you're giving the account number of yourself. I just wanted you to show exactly what you intend to do, which you have just shown. No, but I have told you that you can only send your account of the hospital, not your account.
Please speak with the doctor.
I don't have to speak with any doctor. All right? I just asked for the doctor that time so that we can get something very clear.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, what's your name, Oga?
Yeah, good morning.
Morning to you.
Okay, this is Dr. Gabriel.
Dr. Gabriel from where?
I'm calling.
As I thought. Apologies for that, Dr. Kibukola, please. Just trying to expose some scammers this morning who they take delight in scamming people of their hard-earned money. But let's get back to our conversation. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you.
You spoke, my name is Shegun.
Yes, Shegun.
From Anthony Village.
Welcome, Shegun. Welcome.
Yeah. You spoke about these judges receiving bribes and all this stuff.
Right.
Is there nothing that the law, can't they put them in prison? Or are they above the law? I just want to know that one.
Okay. All right.
Is there, please, I need an answer to that one, please.
Okay, Shegun. Thank you.
Thank
you. Wow. Okay. Time is far gone. Dr. Bukola, we need to wrap off right now. But goodness me. But we have to go. But just so before we go, Dr. Kebukola, I would like you to maybe respond to the last caller. I know you've said it before, but please respond to the last caller as to the prosecutorial duty of ICPC, especially. I know you don't work in this field in ICPC, but the prosecutorial duty of ICPC in making sure that we go after corrupt individuals, regardless of their status, lawyers, judges, court officials. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Mr. Shegun, no one is above the law. Be it a judge, a lawyer, a private citizen trying to scam people, all can be prosecuted. Once you can get your evidence, you can prosecute them. And they can be convicted and sentenced. However, this kind of research does not generate the kind of evidence that can be used for prosecution. It can generate the kind of evidence or the kind of information or the kind of knowledge or data, as Pastor Ladipo pointed out, that can generate awareness.
Right.
And that can also direct interventions, including prosecutorial interventions.
Right.
When prosecutors of the ICPC go through the report of the academy, then they know the kinds of or categories of people that are involved in certain kinds of corrupt practices. And then they want to work with the investigators to focus on that category of people.
Dr. Elijah, we must leave it here. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure. We'll find a way to bring you back so we can conclude this conversation. Lagos, we have to go. Have yourself a fantastic day. Bye for now.
Nigeria's foremost airline, Air Peace, will be receiving its first two brand new Embraer 195-E2 aircraft. It is the first of its kind in the whole of Africa. It's going to be coming in this December 2020. And Air Peace, the launch